Yeah, beautiful. Okay, cool. So I would just say let's start, and maybe can watch the replay in the end anyways. Yeah, so I want to talk about this topic, and I don't even want to use this word anymore. I'm so sick of hearing it all the time. The coronavirus. There's so much fear going on, and it's just, I find that just going crazy. It's out of control. So my mission here is really to spread some love and some light and to calm everybody down. And we do this through art and the power of prayer. So I can't wait. I will do a meditation shortly where we go through the process and just imagine how we heal the world and protect ourselves. And then I have the vision of this bird in a bird cage, which came up in my dream. And when I was asking myself, my higher self, however you call it, well, what am I going to paint? And then I just realized, my God, that is the bird. Because why the bird? The bird in a bird cage represents like us humans in a moment where we're just feeling trapped in fear, trapped in some of the countries like Italy or China where there's this lockdown and you can't even go outside. It's just crazy. So let's spread some light and love. So if you don't know me yet, I like to read cards. Not really for the public. I do it for myself and for my courses. If I want to share a message. So what I've done, I used the Spirit of the Animal Oracle deck. And that's another thing for me. I definitely more connected to the animals and the elementals. And I'm using the fairy deck. And from Diana Cooper, she's amazing. If you know her, just check out Archangel Animal Oracle deck. And what interesting came out was the bat. And the bat, it's definitely relevant because the bat talks about this, well, could be one of the animals, how that all started. But it's also saying the message here for the bat is see through the illusion into the truth. And that really means just stepping back and forget about the news and all the media making everybody crazy and then panicking and fear. And instead using our own discernment, connect with your heart and your soul and see what is really true. Are the numbers really the numbers they keep telling us and whatnot? And focus on what we want instead, right? Focus on health. How can we protect ourselves in a healthy way? Doing exercise, going outside, getting some sun, vitamin D, vitamin A, vitamin C, and all of that. And it's saying, another one came out, the guinea pig, which is do your part to illuminate the universe. And that's exactly what we're going to do now with the painting and with our meditation. We're just connecting with our heart and we shed our light and all this craziness will disappear. The other card which came out is the cat. And the cat means you are a natural healer. And that's the thing, what you don't have to go with the crowd. And I think the message here, what I'm getting from it, is we can watch the news and do everything what else everybody else is doing, panic buying and whatnot. But being in the fear lowers our energy vibration, which makes us actually prone to getting all this nonsense. And instead, if we raise our vibration, we focus on health, don't watch the news if you don't have to, be informed, but not overly consumed by it. And then you open up to your intuition. And the thing is, when we do the painting, just by painting, we are relaxing and tuning into our heart, our soul. And that's when we really tune in and open up to our intuition. And we know, our body, our soul knows how we can protect ourselves. And that's pretty much saying, the cat is saying, listen to your own intuition and don't just follow the crowd. And yeah, the links, keeper of secrets. There might be some theories going on. I don't really want to go into that. I'm probably not the expert, but it's stepping back and what is really the truth here. Right. Government, I don't know. We can't really trust governments anyways. So the fairies wanted to come through and they're telling me that you are protected. And if you look into this card and just tune in, you will feel this energy of the fairies around you. They're protecting you. So if you do feel you get into a bit of panic mode, just ask the fairies to come in and surrounding you. And they're definitely telling you to connect with your inner child and play what we're going to do soon. Believe in the magic. And all this stuff is going to be over soon and we're celebrating. Isn't that beautiful? Another thing what I wanted to share, I do have this crystal, the amethyst here. The amethyst is, I really got recently into crystals. It's a beautiful crystal which is helping us to clear our aura, cleanse our aura. It's actually a detoxifying too. So if you do want to get an amethyst, I've got a lot of amethyst because it's my birthstone as well, as a bracelet, as a ring. So it's really helping me to protect myself from anything what shouldn't be in my aura. Okay, so if you're ready, then let's do the meditation. Are you ready? Okay, so you can, I would recommend to sit straight up, otherwise you might sleep in. I had people telling me that I slept in my meditation and didn't hear what I was saying. So, just sit down and roll your shoulders, your head, and just feel really comfortable. And take a deep breath in, hold, and exhale. And again, just take a deep breath in on 4, hold, and exhale. Just feel how you're calming down, how your body is totally calming down. Take each breath in, breathing in the beautiful universe, source energy, golden light, and you breath out all of the fear and worries about that situation or any other situation. It does not matter. We just breathe it all out. And now just imagine this beautiful golden light coming through your head, through your eyes, through your throat, through your chest area, healing your heart, going through your stomach area where all the fear is sitting, and take it all out. It washes it away. It keeps going through your sacral chakra, which is underneath your navel, your root chakra, through your legs, down into Mother Earth. You're washed clear from any worry and fear. And now you anchor into Mother Earth. Just imagine how roots of a tree growing out of your feet anchor you into the heart of Mother Earth. And now this beautiful warm energy from Mother Earth is coming up again. Through your feet, through your legs, through your torso, and anchors fully into your heart. You feel now connected from above to below. You're totally safe. And I call upon your divine team, whoever you believe in, your angels. I call upon my divine team to help me, guide me through this meditation. I call upon the fairies and any other elemental being or animal spirit which wants to come through to talk us through this. And also call upon the archangels to protect us while we do this meditation. So it's totally safe, totally protected. And I'll keep breathing. And just notice, scan your body if there's any tension still, anything we might be holding on to. Just notice, do not judge. And just breathe through that spot. And just imagine how this energy, the golden energy from source, is coming through this, your body, in particular to that stop, to that tension. And it's washing it gently away. And now just imagine this big bubble in front of you. It looks like a soap bubble. And now just imagine how all of your worries, all of your frustration, anger, any of these lower vibrations go into that bubble. And it's a very strong bubble. It's not one of those which are just falling apart. It's very strong. It holds everything inside it. Just let it on, just imagining how everything is pretty much vacuumed out into that bubble. Any low vibes, any worries about any situation in your life. And now let's see how the unicorn is coming down and is taking this bubble onto its horn, and it's going up in the sky, and this bubble of worry, fears and low vibration is just totally diminished and transmutes into light. It's gone. See how you feel now? You're feeling relaxed, so much lighter. And don't worry if there's still something left. That is fine, that is alright. And now let's go on a journey. Let's all of us watching this video take our hands, take your family, your friends, your family, any loved ones you want to be in this, have included in this. Maybe you have a pet. And just take them all on your hands, and we are going on a walk. And there's this bridge, a golden bridge. She's going up. Very strange. It looks like it's going up to the 4th dimension. Since you cleared now all of your worries, you're so much lighter, you can reach that. And now let's go over the bridge. We're all having fun and chatting and seeing it so much lighter. There's some stairs going up. Looks like we're going up into the heaven and going over this beautiful golden bridge. And the light around us is really beautiful, pure white light. It feels light. So with sparkles around us. And now we're standing on this bridge. And we're looking down. Down on the 3D, we can see our world, our countries, our towns, our cities. And you can see people walking around, maybe the neighbors. And everything seems to be black and dark blue, covered in fear. But you can see the light, because you are in the light. You are the light. Now let's continue walking. We go over the bridge right now. And now there's a fairy coming up to you. She's very big. She's like a human but with wings. And she's smiling at us. And she says, "Come on and follow me." So we follow her. And now we reach this massive tree, a beautiful, chunky tree. And it has got this face in its trunk. And it looks like there's a big nose of the tree, and it turns into a doorknob. Now you can see, we all can see, it's actually a door. There's this beautiful light shining out of this door. We're opening up this door, and the fairy tells us to walk all in. We're going through this magical, beautiful, glittery light, and we can hear the laughter and singing. We see suddenly all these flowers and fairies swirling around. It's so amazing. And now we're in this fairy realm. There's so many more fairies. They all come to us and singing us. They're now surrounding us. Yeah, it's like we are in the middle and they're building this huge circle around us. And they're sending us some protection light. And now they want to show us something. So we keep walking. And now there's this little tiny table with a bird cage on it. Now, but there's no bird inside. They don't do that. They have birds living free and around. But what is inside? They show us, and we go closer to it. And we see they're very dark. Yeah, it's Earth. It's a globe inside the bird cage. We can see and really feel this fear energy in there. But the golden cage has this high vibe energy vibration around it. So now the fairies ask all of us to hold our hands and to spread some light to this planet Earth. And now just picture how you shine in your light, and all of us watching this video and listening to this meditation, and all of this light inside of us, around us, above us and below us is shining very brightly, and it has this impact on this Mother Earth. And suddenly you can see how this fear energy is dissipating. It's going, it's disappearing. And now the globe seems to lift its fear, and it's bright and shiny. And now the fairies, they get us closer to the cage now. And they show us pictures and visions of what's going on Mother Earth. And we see that sick people getting healthier. The fear, the panic has stopped. People are feeling lighter and happier. They're getting out in nature and having fun. Or they're focusing on their health. They're eating whatever feels right for them. They're having fun. All of this is disappearing. All of this fear, panic does just not exist anymore. And now let's spread some more light so that it stays as that. Know that everybody is protected. Even if we get it, we will survive it. Because we're strong. We have a healthy, bright immune system. And now the fairy opens the bird cage and takes out this planet Earth. Golden, shiny. And now suddenly, out of magic, that planet Earth is now transmuting into this beautiful golden bird. It's happy, it's smiling, it's singing around. And it has a message for you. It's a message how you can protect yourself. What is it you can do in that situation to know that you're protected and safe? Just listen wisely. It's a message from love and light. And now take this message to play and have fun. Maybe they want you to reevaluate what is really important in life. And maybe that situation where we do feel restricted, it is a time of reflection, isn't it? So we can see what really matters. Instead of getting busy and going to work every day and coming back exhausted. Now, maybe it's also having fun and tapping into our creativity to really tune into our heart and soul. Whatever it is, just take that message with you. And now let's go back. We thank the fairies. Thank you, fairies. Thank you, unicorn. Thank you, bird. Thank you, angels. And now we're walking back to this bridge. And on the bridge, we're looking back down. And we see how everything has shifted. It's lighter, it's brighter. And if you feel down at any time, just go back to this meditation and do this again. And spread some more light. And now let's go back. So over this bridge, down the stairs. And now we're back on our Mother Earth planet, in our 3D, in your home, in your apartment, house, wherever you are right now. And just feel the earth underneath you. You can start rolling your shoulders and your legs and your arms. Wiggle your fingers. Take a deep breath in and out. And when you're ready, you open your eyes. So here we go. I'm using watercolor paper, which is got the strength of 300 GSM. That's what I really can recommend. And I'm just using a pencil, hold it really flat and soft and light, and just paint the body of the bird. And the head is just like a little bit of an oval shape. Just put a bit fast forward so it doesn't take too long to watch. So what I typically do, I use the half of the head and put a vertical line and a horizontal line. So that is just for me to see where I place the eyes. Right in the middle there is the gap, is one oval shape, and then I do left and right hand side the eyes. The eyes, how I do it with animals, is slightly different, so I just use like this line. And now I just move on to the beak, which is just like a triangle, and the mouth. So my animals are typically more whimsical, so proportions don't matter. Just adding a bit of a shade to the eyes. I typically do it pretty big. You can do whatever eye shape you like. Yeah. Now I include the iris and the pupil. And that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Don't overcomplicate it. And now I'm ready to use some crayons. I typically use these pastel ones first. I got these from Daiso if you are from Australia. They're pretty reasonably, but actually work really well. So it's not always true to say that whatever shape is not good enough. Of course, if you're an artist and you want to sell your art, probably you wouldn't go for that. You would go for artist grades. But the purposes I'm doing art is more for the healing purposes. So now I'm using a watercolor brush. So you fill in the water actually into the brush and you press the push button and the water comes out. It's pretty handy, and even if you're traveling, it's really good to carry it along. So you don't even need to carry your water at all. I'm just using a light yellow as a first layer and activate the crayon with some water. As you can see, using now some more watercolor just to add some shading and different type of yellows. Of course, again, you can use whatever color. I had this yellow bird in my vision, so I want to go ahead with this yellow. So I said, it's a bit too painful, this little brush, so I choose the bigger one, which is a watercolor brush. So it really can take up a lot of water. And yeah, again, using some yellow shades. I pretty much leave the beak a bit white because that's going to be the highlight. Or not totally white, but you know what I mean. And that was a yellow I actually saw in my vision. Yeah, that's gonna be the first layer. And then I realized, actually I wanted to paint the wings in purple. And again, I probably should have waited until it's dry, but that's alright. I'm not too fussed about it. So I'm using now some collage paper. I got again in our Daiso shop. It's a Japanese store. And they have this origami paper, and I really love it. I also use a piece of a napkin, which is a butterfly, which I'm going to use later on. I just rip it apart and just place it wherever. I'm not really thinking about it. The only thing sometimes what I do just to make sure if I use some of the collage paper or color in one corner, I make sure I also use it in a different spot, so it kind of makes the painting and the page come all together and it's not totally out of place. Yeah, just using some collage paper creates some great texture as well, and it kind of helps you to pick the colors as well. Since I had a vision already, normally I never really know what exactly color I'm going to use, but in that scenario I had actually the vision of this yellow bird looking right into my eyes when I did a meditation on it, so I knew it had to be white. So now I'm using some matte medium to glue down the collage paper, so I'm just using a bit on the watercolor paper, and then you can also use that matte medium and go over it, and you can apply easily other layers over that. It works really well. I use the one from Liquitex, but there are different brands of course as well. Yeah, I'm just gluing it all down. Which is very relaxing as well. So I also used some pages of a book which I didn't really want to read. And I noticed it's a German book, and one of the first word on the top left side, it says Überraschungen, which means surprise. So yeah, let's see what the surprise is gonna be here. Maybe surprise that the virus stops sooner than everybody thought it would. That would be a nice surprise. Believe in magic, remember? And there's a butterfly. The butterfly stands for transformation. And that's really what this whole situation is also about. Hey. So now I'm just letting it dry. I'm using a hair dryer for this live session. Normally I just let it sit, have a cup of tea or whatever, go for a walk, do something else, and then get back to it. But because I want to finish it in one piece, I thought I will just use my hair dryer instead. So now I'm using a Tombow marker for the eyes. You don't need to use a Tombow marker, you can use a watercolor pencil, which I'm going to use now. I use the one from Faber-Castell. They're really, really good. Not because I'm German, but they are actually really good quality. And because most of the colors I don't really use anyways, I have my go-to colors, so I didn't end up buying the whole pack. And then Eckersley is one of the art stores I love here in Sydney. You can just buy single pans, and that's like exactly what I needed. So I just bought it in the colors I always use. So I'm adding some different color shades into the iris because it's never only just one color, right? And now I'm using the smaller watercolor brush and just activate it. If you don't have any of these pencils, that's fine too. You can just use normal watercolor or even acrylic if you want to do acrylic. No limits. And now I'm just adding some more rosy cheeks to our little birdie. So now I'm using gelatos. Funny enough, they are from Faber-Castell as well. I typically use this for like the background as I'm using it now. You can see I'm just go like over it, but also kind of make sure that I use the color in each single corner almost, so it's kind of coming together. And it's not just in one spot. I think that would look a bit funky. But maybe it does look good. It really depends on. Sometimes you gotta break the rules. In fact, there are no rules in art. So they're really waxy. They're a bit more dense than the other ones. So that's why I use the smaller ones at the first layer. Just have a little bit of a foundation, and then I just use the gelatos on top. They're really creamy, so you actually can either activate them with color as well, or you can just use your finger and rub it all in. So now I'm using my watercolor brush and activate it with water again. So now make sure I only use one color at a time, otherwise we're creating some ugly looking mud. So I'm focusing on the blue first, and then on the purple, and then on the yellow. So now I'm using some white gesso as a primer. I'm using my palette knife. This gives, so I can tone a bit down the colors, and I'm kind of blending in where the collage is. I do avoid though the area where I use the napkin, because that can look a bit funky and ugly. I've tried it, it didn't look nice. And also using the gesso with some palette knife, which just creates a bit of texture as well, so I really like this. Now before I started to using the Mod Podge, see, that's what happened, but you can just go over it with gesso and another layer, and then it's all good. Before I was used to use the Mod Podge layer before I used the markers, I was just using that type of gesso layer, was letting it dry, and then I use the Posca pen, but you really have to make sure it's dry and you're not going over the waxy crayons in the end, because then you can destroy your Posca pens. So I'm really kind of happy with changing it a bit up and using Mod Podge. If you're confused about it, just keep watching, we're gonna use it soon. Now I'll let it dry. The gesso layer does take a bit longer. Yeah, so once it's dry, so I decided now to use some stencils. And with these type of stencils, if you have some, there's this one side where you can see it's like a little bit of an edge to it, and the other side is very smooth, and the smooth side goes on the top and the edgy one on the bottom. That makes sure that your color doesn't smear so much underneath it. So now I thought, well, maybe I'm using that and just give the little bird a bit of a crown, a divine crown. Funny enough, the coronavirus talks about it looks like a crown, like our crown chakra. So, well, that is our crown here. Voila. Just using some other shapes. If I were to use acrylic paint, sometimes I do, then I would use not the palette knife. I find that works better with gesso. But with acrylics, I would use just a makeup sponge. That really helps. I'm adding some more gelatos just to deepen the color a bit. Yeah, and I decided the bird needs some music notes because it's singing. It reminds us to sing our soul song. I'm just quickly activating the gelato I just put on, and then it's time to let it dry again. So now this will take a bit longer because now it's a bit of a thicker layer of gesso. That's most of the time the best time to just do something else, or leave it for the night and finish off the next day. It's great actually, and if you get up in the morning before you go to work, just get up earlier if you can, of course, and then sit and paint, because it doesn't really take long until it needs to dry anyways, and it just feels good to connect with your creativity before you move on with your day, right? Yeah, that takes a bit longer. Because the next layer would be my Mod Podge, and before I do that I really have to make sure it is dry, otherwise it's just gonna look like a hot mess. So in the meantime, just adding some more shading and rub it in with my fingers. Yeah, better safe than sorry. So now I'm using my Mod Podge. I just put it all over it and it seals in the colors, just puts it really all together, and it gives it a nice and shiny surface. Surely there are other methods you can use, but I quite like that. So now once you put it all in, again you need to let it dry. Just make sure it's really dry before you move on with your markers, otherwise the markers are really sensitive and they might be destroyed by that. But it doesn't take too long. I found that just a layer is a bit harder to dry, but that is pretty easy. Now it's dry. Now I'm using my A.R.T pen there from Faber-Castell as well. Clearly I'm a fan of this brand. I'm using the bluish colors, but also usually for my fairies and girls I'm painting, I'm using the flesh colors. For this bird I just choose a bit of this flesh for the cheeks. And so you have a 20-second window to rub it all in with your finger, which is pretty cool. That's how you blend really easily. And if you want to leave the color and let it sit, then you just let it sit. So now with the mouse, I realized that it was a bit too much. It wasn't really to my liking. I used some baby wipes, and if you're quick and within 20 seconds, you can wipe it all off and do it again. So now I've got some purple and just adding a bit more color to the wings. And now it's time for the black A.R.T pen. So now I'm just really lining out all the little details, like the eyes. Fill in the pupil with some black. And that now just gives it the final touch. Now you recognize it's actually a whimsical bird. adding a few heart shapes. And now you remember the message you've got. You can now write it into the bird or surrounding, wherever you feel like it. And that message is reminding you that you are safe, that you are protected. And I would use positive words. I wouldn't say something like, I don't need to be in fear, I don't buy into this fear. As soon as you use these words, you're already attracting fear. So I would just really formulate it in a really positive way. I am safe, I am protected, I follow my intuition. So now I'm using the white Posca pen. I use the big thicker one. So when you activate these ones, if you first get it, you just need to pump it. And there's acrylic paint in it. Sometimes it can be a bit annoying, depends on if you had once one that really annoyed me. That's why I kind of was looking for a different solution. Sometimes they work fantastic. I like the bigger one, works really well. The smaller ones I'm struggling with. That's why I choose also the Pit Artist pen and the Uniball gel pen. That was really well. Yeah, just add some highlights and messages and anything. Can doodle around. Yeah, and that's already it. I hope you enjoyed it and feel a bit more calm and relaxed about the whole situation, and know that Birdie is protecting you. Doesn't mean to be blindly, it just goes to be aware but not in fear. Alrighty, I see you next time then. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.